G'day Skulldraggers and welcome. We're heading out on North Pine Dam today. Going to see if we can find ourselves a bass. There has been a bit of dirty water around. It's an absolutely awesome day and we're looking forward to see if we can find a nice big bass or two. Got a few different nets to test out, so we're going to give them a bit of a go while we're out there. I'm going to explain to you what I like about them, what I don't like about them, and we're going to go and try an edge bite and go and see whether or not we can find these guys out on the edges. Recently the deep water hasn't been doing it, but it's a nice hot day today, so it's going to be very interesting to see exactly how the fish are changing with these changing temperatures and the water clearing up. Come on, let's go and have an adventure. Alright guys, we've pushed on out. As you can see, that water is really dirty. So thinking today that we're going to start by using some darker shapes, just try and get that bit of a profile happening in the water. There is a little bit of visibility to the water, but it isn't much. You can see that the place is starting to recover. There doesn't seem to be a lot of weed at the present time. Most of that should have sunk off by last week. So water conditions are getting better, they're improving, but there's still a long way to go, as you can see there, because that is still quite muddy. So hoping today we're going to use some bigger lures, bigger rattles, some darker shapes, and try and get the bite happening. We're sitting at about 4 to 5 meters of water here, starting to see a few fish on the sounder. So I'm going to switch across to one of the sharp point lipless crankbaits. This thing was an absolute weapon the last time we were out here, in black because of our dirty watercolors. We're going to see if we can entice a few of these guys. The only issue that we have with these, throwing them up close to the weeds, is obviously we've got dangling treble hooks, so they do tend to catch a bit of weed. Once you work out where the weed is, these things are absolutely deadly. Allow them to sink, they will just flutter, and they've got a nice audible rattle in there, which actually helps attract the fish. Give it a couple of jerks and then a straight flat roll out. That seemed to be doing the trick the last time. Let's go and give it a go. So you can see what we're doing. We've got a nice little edge here, and got the black sharp point lipless crank on. And I'm just working this edge. Yep, grab that right at the boat. Must have followed that all the way in. Oh, got a little bit of go to him too. Oh, just there. Come on up, son. Let's take a little look. He grabbed it real late, so he's going to be quite green. I'm going to let him run, try to use that rod as a shock absorber. Almost got a glimpse of him then. Coming up. And he's still taking drag. And of course, it's the type everybody loves to catch. Alright, so this little net you can see here is the sidearm, and one of the good things about the sidearm is that you actually got quite a bit of spike protection when you catch catfish. See, those spikes are not going to penetrate that. Not that you really want to be catching catfish all the time, but in the off chance that you do like that, they at least protect you while you're in the while you're actually in the kayak. So we'll try and get these hooks out. Of course, catfish I can catch hands down, no problems at all. So let's get these hooks out. And of course, you're terribly well hooked, aren't you, buddy? Because you're a catfish. You're not going to get away. We'll pop those out. We might have to get a few of the spines out. There we go. And then should just be a simple matter of letting him swim away. And that is how you use the skull drag sidearm to get a catfish out without even having to touch it. That's one of the things I love about these little nets. And you can see, completely maneuverable, easy to fit the fish in, and they just swim straight in. Good protection from catfish. Not that you want to be catching them, but just the same. That's one of the reasons why I love the little sidearm. Alright, let's see if we can get a proper fish this time. Awesome afternoon out. Oh, there we go. Yep, and we're on. Yep. Again, rolling that out along that edge into that deeper water. I just simply seem to love this black one. He's got a little bit of weight. He's not too bad. Good on your son. He's certainly trying. Oh, Going hard there now. Got the drag up a fair bit, so he's not got... Just getting to the bottom of that boat there. There we go. So we're fishing a bit of a point here, and there is a few fish working around the area. And as you can see, it's quite a shallow point that drops off. A little bit of grass come up onto the point, so it's actually made it quite a good hunting ground for the bigger fish. And now that the light's starting to fade a little bit, they're starting to move up into those shallows and out of that deeper water, so we're actually able to concentrate them on the edge, which is clearly a good thing. So by getting them right up into that grass up in there, that's where they're hunting the insects and anything else that's washing down, along with the along with the water that's coming out of the weeds. So awesome little spot, and a couple of quality fish kicking around. Just changed over to a different type of hook setup on that. I got absolutely railed. Alright. Nice fish, bit of weight. Don't know if that's actually a bass. The way he's running. It's going to be interesting. Alright. So for this fish, we're going to use some type of net. Alright, what do we got here? Oh, it's not a bad bass either. There we go, scoop him in real easy. Look at that one. He is alright. That's got to be 40 something on the purple, mate. Purple spinnerbait. That's a sharp point, that one. I've got a couple here if you want one. But I had to change over because he's a bit knocked around too. Yeah, well, that's the problem I was having. He's not a bad bass either. He probably goes close to that 45. Alright. And you can see he's only just hooked. Very close to getting away. Oh, come on, son. Now this thing's bristling with hooks. The only problem with silicone nets is that you do tend to get a few hooks. You've got a bit knocked around there on his fins, but very nice. Man, talk about getting tangled. What an awesome fish. That's a good one for today.
Hey, that's not bad effort.
Yeah, look at that.
Nice.
He's got a little bit of knocked around on the roof there, but don't be afraid to get right up in amongst the weeds, because that's where they're hunting. The only problem is when you hook them up in there, you're going to have a pretty hard time getting them out. Ooh. Sometimes they don't come out. Railed up in the shallows. He's right up in there. That literally hit the water and went 2 turns of the reel handle. Oh, he gave me around something. Around the weed. No, he's coming out. Okay. Coming out. You'll be able to eat a good fish too and feel the weight on him. Again, that's on the sharp point jig head. Oh yeah, he's got a bit of weight and he's running. There's a good fish. Oh, he's just there. He's seen the boat. There's the leader. And here he comes. Oh, it's a nice bass. Another good one. Righto, this time round. Come over this way, son. I'm going to swim you in to the side arm and welcome on board. Maybe not quite as big as the last one. He was up real shallow. And again, you can see nice solid bass though, right on that jig. And this is the worm hook. and it's just basically an extra added worm hook in there, and that seems to be doing the damage. That's actually what is helping to get these fish. Have a go at that. That is an absolute stonking bass. So I'll chuck him in the sidearm, which is obviously another good thing for the sidearm, to do a quick measurement before we let him go. He's definitely over the 40, not quite as big as the last one, but probably around about that 45 mark. Thereabouts. Oh, any on there, son? Yeah, definitely. So he's probably about 43, thereabouts. So awesome little fish, and that's what we love about the sidearm, because it just cradles them nicely while you can get them ready, take a few photos, and then let them go again. And as we said before, one of the beautiful things about the sidearm, you can let them have a rest. We let them go. Yeah, baby, that was awesome.